All right, I want to take a look at the stock market. Um, at this point, I think I can say with a great deal of confidence we're in the middle of our first volatility event in what I think is an ongoing bubble. Most of the selling has been confined to the NASDAQ. And as I pointed out before, these intermediate declines, they almost always unfold at least as an ABC um, pattern. You can see this intermediate decline here. We had our first leg down, kind of a bounce, although it was more just a sideways churn back to this 10-day moving average, and then a second leg down. We're in the C wave down now um, in the tech sector where most of the selling is occurring, and I suppose this makes sense. Tech is the sector that went up the most, so that's where most of the profit taking is bound to happen. But we're clearly we're in the C wave decline. We're starting to get some divergences on the some of the momentum indicators. This is RSI. This is the weekly chart. A couple of parameters I tend to look for, although I'm not completely convinced this is going to occur on the S&P because the selling isn't as intense there. But um, generally, an intermediate cycle low will break below the 10-week moving average, which is kind of the same thing as the 50-day moving average. But it'll break below that, and it'll turn that average back down before um, a final bottom is struck, and we're getting that. Yeah, obviously price is below the 10-week moving average, and the average has started to turn down. We're getting pretty close to being oversold on the weekly RSI, and we're 23 weeks into this intermediate cycle. Um, the average duration of an intermediate cycle low from bottom to bottom, that's how you count cycles, is typically between 22 and 25 weeks. So we're right in the middle of um, when we should be looking for a bottom. This intermediate cycle low lasted 4 weeks. We're 3 weeks into this. We've got a potential trigger event tomorrow on the employment report that we might possibly get a bottom on that. And if not that, um, my guess is probably if we don't get it tomorrow on the employment report, we're probably going to get it next week. And then uh, this intermediate correction, which don't fall into the bear trap of thinking that the bull market is over. That's kind of the thinking that happens at every single one of these intermediate cycle lows, and it doesn't look like much now, but most people remember this, that this was very scary moving down into this was a larger degree 4-year cycle low, and notice this came in March. So our yearly cycle low we would generally expect it in about 12 months. So we're into March. So we're probably trying to put in um, a yearly cycle low here with this um, intermediate decline. Like I said, 22 or 23 weeks into this, we're in the timing band. Um, if not Friday, probably next week. We're starting to get oversold on the, or very close to oversold on the weekly RSI. Um, so again, don't fall into the trap of thinking the bull market's over. It's not over. We've probably got a huge run up to go. This is a profit taking event. It's cleansing the sentiment from this very powerful rally, and it's going to set the stage for the next leg up. And I've warned people that we would have at least one of these, and maybe we'll have um, two or three before this bubble phase is over. But um, th this obviously is the first one. And right now, this is still really mild. This is only about this is about an 8 or 9% correction, so pretty mild. As you recall, during the bubble phase in 2099 and 2000, we had a couple of volatility events that shaved off 12 and I believe it was 12 and 14% and did it in a matter of like 4 to 8 days. So far this is a very mild volatility event so far. But should be over pretty quickly. Probably, I would guess, probably by next week, and then that we will cleanse sentiment, and then we'll set the stage for the next leg up in this bull market. And this bull market still has a good ways to go, in my opinion. Probably a long ways to go. I don't think 20,000 on the Nasdaq Composite is out of the question.